Okay, well, thank you very much. My name is Franklin Garcia, and I am the U.S. Shadow Representative for the District of Columbia, and I'm very happy to see the large turnout. So thank you to all the members of the media and everybody that made time to come out here today. What we're going to do is just going to tell you real quick, we have a permit for about an hour, so we'll be out here for an hour. So what we're going to do is, we're going to be here for about 20 minutes. We're going to hear from some elected officials and some activists, and then we're going to go ahead and Hector Rodriguez, who is right here, is going to lead us to lead a demonstration on the other side for about 20 more minutes. So I just want to get started now, and what I want to do is, I want to, because I believe that, as Dr. King said, that light has to drive out darkness. So we're going to go ahead and do a little prayer for Mr. Donald Trump right now. And Theo, can you do that, please?
Yes. Let us pray. O God of grace and mercy, bless this demonstration today, and bless your people assembled in a spirit of peace and understanding. Your people assembled here to shine a spotlight on bigotry, xenophobia, intolerance, and hatred in its most crude and vile manifestations. We pray that Donald Trump and like-minded people have a conversion of heart, and that they seek you for forgiveness and restoration and reconciliation. And God, give us eyes to see the best in people, a heart that forgives the worst, a mind that forgets the bad, and a soul that never loses faith in you. This is my prayer in the name of your Son, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Theo. And so I'm going to read a short statement that I have, and then I'll pass it on to the other elected officials and activists who are here today. And so today we come together as immigrants, Latinos, blacks, whites, members of the LGBT community, young and old, as Americans under one flag, the American flag. Some of us have been here for many generations, others are more recent arrivals, but we all share the same passion for making America the great place that it is. Mexico isn't sending criminals or rapists. Most people that come to America, they come here because they're looking for the American dreams. And yes, politicians, business leaders, community leaders, and others not only have the right, but the obligation to secure that American dream. But painting an entire community and group of people as rapists and criminals is not how anyone protects that dream. If Mr. Trump is concerned about securing our borders, let's have a serious discussion about this issue and address immigration reform. Today, we want to add our city and the region to the growing list of those condemning the inaccurate and derogatory comments made by Mr. Trump. We also want to send a strong, unified message that we are against hatred and xenophobia. From this action today, we seek to continue to unify our community. We also call for others in the city and across the nation to continue to build pressure against Mr. Trump so that he stops spreading hatred and bigotry. Mr. Trump has inflicted a lot of pain in our community and should apologize for dehumanizing our people.
Absolutely.
Thank you. En español, un minuto en español nomás. Hoy estamos aquí unidos en contra de la discriminación de nuestra gente. Le queremos enviar un mensaje claro al señor Trump de que en esta ciudad ni en la región se toleran el odio ni la xenofobia. Estamos haciendo un llamado a que continúe la presión en contra del señor Trump para que por lo menos se disculpe con nuestra comunidad por todo el odio y la difamación que está introduciendo en el país sobre nuestra gente latina. Muchas gracias. I now pass it on to Senator Strauss, who is right here with me. Thank you for all the work you're doing on behalf of BC Statehood, Senator.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Representative Garcia. As the senior citywide elected Latino in the District of Columbia government, you have taken on a role as the symbolic leader of that community, and I'm proud to stand with you in that community today. The name of the boat that brought my family to this country wasn't the Mayflower, and as a descendant of immigrants, I'm proud to welcome the generations of those who have continued to come and build this as a great nation. In South Carolina, the Confederate flag is coming down. A federal court has ruled that the Washington Redskins logo, which is racially offensive, will not receive federal protection, and our own Department of Interior has made it clear that that logo will not be on federal property because of its hurtful connotations. Well, right down the street is a symbol that is taking on that same level of racist and hurtful connotation, the Trump logo, which is also on federal land, also on federal property. Mr. Trump didn't build that building. He didn't buy that building, and he doesn't own the land. That's the people's building, and we're here to ask that the Department of Interior take that logo off that scaffolding that's on our land, not his. Because I know we have some folks that have begun to gather down there, I'm going to take my leave of you here as we continue this program so that we can get ready to welcome you all at the site of that logo that we want to see removed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And now we're going to hear from our Senator Michael Brown, who has been doing a lot of statehood work also since 2007. Thank you very much for being here, Senator Brown.
Thank you. This is where we all should be. We all should be here because, as Senator Strauss said, the brave people of South Carolina stood up today, and they're taking down a racist symbol that has stood for 50 years. In my opinion, is that we should put Mr. Trump along with that symbol in a museum somewhere, because what he speaks of is old in America, but it's wrong. We're here to dump Mr. Trump. That's what this rally is about. We did these lovely buttons that we've been giving out, and I want people to know there are a lot of people that have already dumped them. Macy's, NBC, Eastpan, Panama, ESPN, yes, I call it Eastpan, Univision, everybody is dumping them, and we need to dump them too, because Mr. Trump needs to understand that you cannot tell the content of a person's soul by looking at the color of his skin, or finding out where he was born, or what God he worships. This is America, and what Mr. Trump needs to know is that he's not fit to do business in our city, and he's not fit to run for the President of the United States. I'm disappointed at the head of the Republican National Committee that told him to tone it down. The Republicans should be saying, knock it off. It's wrong. Don't tone it down so we don't get in trouble. Change your attitude. We don't want his name on our building, and we certainly don't want him at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. So this is where it starts. We stand along with the people of South Carolina, and we say racism ends today. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Brown. And now we're going to hear from Councilmember Groso, who is doing incredible work on the City Council and is being a great advocate for to our immigrant community. Thank you, Councilmember Groso.
I'm coming out today to support this effort because I also think that there's no room in our city or in our country for this type of behavior or this type of language being directed at any person, much less my fellow friends from Mexico. So in this regard, I think it's time for us to step up to the plate and tell Trump that he needs to go. I have no patience for him. I have no patience for this kind of activity. I've called for him to step away from this project. I hope the federal government does the same thing. The people of the District of Columbia are proud people because we're progressive and we understand what it means to respect everybody. We understand what it means to embrace everybody that comes into our city. And just yesterday we had a hearing on our Local Residents Voting Rights Act, and I can tell you that this bill would allow everybody in the District of Columbia to vote in local elections, even though they can't vote in federal elections. But I want to tell you something about this hearing. The comments I've gotten on email since last night, since this was on Fox News and all over the country, have been absolutely awful. There's been more xenophobic comments and racist comments than you can imagine. But not one of those comments came from the District of Columbia residents. Because the people of the District of Columbia, like I said, do not tolerate this. And we shouldn't have to sit here and look at a symbol of hatred every single day at the post office pavilion that many of us cherished occupying and using for many years growing up here. So I'm here as a council member, an at-large council member representing the whole city, saying that it's time for Trump to go. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Councilmember Grosso. Thank you. And we're now going to hear from an incredible young activist who is doing incredible work, and we're so happy that he's joined our movement. And he'll tell you what he did. So come on forth, Eric Sanchez.
Eric Sanchez. Come on, Eric.
Hello. Hi, my name is Eric Sanchez. I'm a Mexican American and the son of an immigrant. The reason that I'm here is 6 days ago I started a petition online when I learned that one of our great Hispanic role models, Chef Jose Andres, was set to open up a restaurant at that Trump hotel. It wasn't a boycott. It was a show of support. And in 5 short days, we acquired nearly 3,000 supporters to back Chef Jose Andres. And just yesterday, Chef Jose Andres announced that he will not be opening a restaurant in that hotel.
Yes.
And so Trump's response to this was that he was going to ensure that Chef Andres would not be able to open up another restaurant in this city for the next 10 years. So I've told my supporters, and I'm telling everybody here, when you get home, go to Chef Andres' website, thinkfoodgroup.com, make a reservation to one of his restaurants, and show your support, because he had our back, and now we have to have his. And on the last note, we're working hard. We may not be able to stop that project. I hope we do. And we may not get the apology that we deserve, given everything we know. But when we come together, our voices will be heard. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you. And now we're going to hear from Jose Gutierrez, who has been doing incredible work in our community for many, many years on behalf of the Latino LGBT community. Thank you, Jose.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jose Gutierrez, and I'm a Mexican gay man. I'm working hard for more than 25 years with the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community in Washington, D.C. And I'm here because I feel really uncomfortable with the statements that Mr. Donald Trump made a couple years ago in the TV. I think we are more than 37 million of Mexicans living in the United States, and we are not rapists, we are not the killers, and we are not drug dealers. We are people who are working hard for the country. We pay taxes, we vote every single year, and we're doing the best to develop the community and the economy of the community. So I feel really offended. I think that the statements in mass media need to be in a positive way. And I receive a lot of phone calls and email from members of the Latino LGBT community feeling really sad and really depressed by the comments of Mr. Donald Trump. And I think he must focus on the positive things of the Mexican immigrants and the Latino community. Thank you.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you. And next, we're going to hear from, we're so happy and honored to have a mover and a shaker here. Eugene, please come and say a few words.
Well, thank you so much. I'm Eugene Perier. I'm the Director of Field Operations for Justice First. And first, I want to thank Franklin Garcia, who I want to note has also been extremely active in supporting the Black Lives Matter movement here in D.C. He's a true civil rights activist. I'm proud to stand here with our elected officials because I think that it is completely and utterly atrocious that we would continue to allow the name Trump to grace this amazing building, a historic landmark here in the United States. To have it marked with the name of a racist is not only inappropriate, but it's highly offensive. And as Councilmember Groso said, it cuts against the grain of what the District of Columbia is about. This is a city that since home rule has embraced those coming from SNCC, from the civil rights movement, from the human rights movement. We were one of the first cities to pass a human rights charter. We are a human rights city. Having Trump's name is inconsistent, and I heavily, wholeheartedly support the calls for the Department of the Interior to dump Trump and to do it right away. And I will also say that I am angry that he did this, but in some ways I look forward to now the District of Columbia being able to help drive the conversation in this country about immigration, the need for serious immigration reform, and the fact that the reality is not only are people not criminals, they're coming here to build a life, to build a family, everything that all of the Republican candidates claim they stand for. So I'd like to see everyone come together to isolate Donald Trump, to continue to promote the reality of what's happening. I see that he says that now some of the things that he has canceled allow him to work on his golf course in California. Well, I'd like to remind Mr. Trump that California is really a part of Mexico that was stolen by racist Americans years ago. So let's have a real discussion about the history of Mexico and the United States, and a real discussion about how we can build brotherhood, unity, sisterhood between Mexicans, Americans, people of all race, faiths, nationalities, and sexual orientations. That's what we need in America in the 21st century, and I thank you all for standing here with us today.
Thank you, Eugene. So, folks, I understand that the bulk of our folks are on the other side. We're expecting some Latino elected officials who are over there. So I'm going to get Hector to come back and here lead us over there and